It's Independence Day, Friday, July 4th, 2025, and this is the Washington Times front page. Happy Independence Day. I'm George Gerbo. President Trump's massive tax cut and spending package finally cleared Congress as House Republicans delivered the bill before his July 4th deadline. Lindsay McPherson reports the measure passed 218 to 214 after days of wrangling holdouts after the Senate made substantive changes to the measure earlier in the week. The legislation's centerpiece was a permanent extension of the GOP's first-term tax cuts for individuals and small businesses. Only two Republicans, Pennsylvania Representative Brian Fitzpatrick and Kentucky Representative Thomas Massie, joined all Democrats in voting against the final bill. The threat of lone wolf attacks from domestic and foreign extremists is the top security concern for public safety officials this Independence Day. Matt Delaney reports federal authorities circulated a threat assessment urging police departments nationwide to be on the lookout for radicals who see large 4th of July crowds as target-rich environments, especially for an attack similar to the ISIS-inspired assault on New Year's Day in New Orleans. Officials said special events that attract people and receive extensive media coverage are favored targets for those who want to cause mass casualties or draw attention to their causes. They're also worried about drone use in those types of attacks. One of those signature 4th of July events is on Coney Island as Joey Chestnut returns after a year hiatus to the Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest. Liam Griffin reports the biggest name in competitive eating missed the sport's flagship event last year after a squabble over Chestnut's brand deal with Impossible Foods, makers of vegan meats and hot dogs, which led to a ban by event organizers. Chicagoan Patrick Bertoletti won the 2024 competition without Chestnut by eating 58 hot dogs and buns. Last year's Chestnut-less event drew 831,000 viewers after averaging an audience of 1 million in 2022 and 2023. The California native has won the event a record 16 times. The Miami City Commission has voted to postpone this year's mayoral and commissioner elections until next year. Stephen Dinan reports the panel decided in a 3-2 vote to postpone them until next year. The city's charter says elections are to be held in odd-numbered years. To implement the change, the commission gave 2 members and term-limited Mayor Francis Suarez another year in office without voters' approval. They said they changed the election date to coincide with federal elections in even-numbered years to boost turnout and save money. Some city residents have furiously objected, and mayoral candidate Emilio Gonzalez has filed a lawsuit. Suarez must now decide whether to veto the change, though the Miami Herald reported last month that he was lobbying behind the scenes to push it through. Car rental companies are starting to incorporate artificial intelligence to detect hard-to-see dings and scratches on vehicles. Susan Ferricchio reports Hertz and Sixt are 2 of the companies that have started to use the technology. Hertz partnered with UVI, which uses high-resolution cameras and machine learning to scan vehicles for damage to the exterior of the car and even the undercarriage. Customers are complaining that the AI scan is more like a scam. They say it attempts to force renters to shell out hundreds and even thousands of dollars for questionable damages or damages they don't believe they caused. And finally, Vietnam is charging the Pentagon as much as $10,000 for each document containing information on missing U.S. service members from the Vietnam War. Bill Gertz reports the POW advocacy group National League of Families of American Prisoners and Missing in Southeast Asia says Vietnam is demanding as much as $10,000 per document and $15,000 per artifact, in effect selling back to the United States evidence gathered on missing American service members. The Pentagon estimates that more than 1,500 U.S. troops remain missing from the Vietnam War. Many are classified as non-recoverable. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo, wishing you and yours a happy Independence Day weekend.